Organization behavior is a study, or we can say it is a systematic study of the human behavior in the organization. Because in organization, the people or the human, they are working like as an individual, they are working as a group. So if we do not understand the behavioral pattern of our individuals or the group member who are working for the organizational system, we cannot work with all individuals. We cannot understand the group behavior of the people, because ultimately we need to achieve the organizational goal. So that's why we need to cover the contributing disciplines. It means the individually or the group, there are kind of disciplines factor which support to understand the individual or human behavior. So there are many kind of disciplines contributing in terms of the organizational behavior study or the human behavior study. But here we are covering the 5 contributing discipline. The first is a psychology, the second is a sociology, third is a social psychology, fourth is anthropology, and the fifth is political science. Now the first contributing disciplines towards the OB study is psychology. What is psychology? Basically, the psychology, it is a deepest study about the human behavior. How a particular human is behave in terms of when we are into a learning process, how I will behave. When I will into a motivating system, how, which factors supporting me, which factors, forcing me towards into a positive manner. What sort of a personality that I am carrying, how emotionally connected I am with a different kind of a things, how I perceive from the environment, what is my perception process, training, the leadership, the things which satisfy me in terms of my job. As an individual, the decision making capability which I am having, my performance, my attitude, my work design, and my work stress. So you changing, or you will see the changes in terms of the psychology or changing in terms of the human behavior when we talk about the psychology. So psychology will support you to understand the individual person. So what sort of a like learning, motivation, personality, emotion, perception. So all these factors, how they will affect and how they will support to define a particular individual. Or very simple language, if I said, if you need to understand a person behavior, you first need to focus on the psychology of the person, and the psychology will be supported by all these factors that people learning, their motivation factors, their personality, their emotions, their perceptions, their satisfaction level, their attitude, everything. Now the another contributing discipline is a sociology. Every human is a social person. You need social things. You need to work with a group. You need to people to whom you love to talk, you like to talk. But if we talk about into an organization system, so sociology means your group dynamics. Because as an individual, I mean, you cannot work single as organization, single for organization. So definitely you need to work under a group, with a group. So sociology will define into that group dynamics, because when you work into a group, then different dynamism factors will affect in terms of group, teams, how you communicate with your colleagues, what sort of a powers, a group powers, group cohesiveness, the conflict and intergroup behavior. It means because whenever we are working in terms of a group, we are dependent on each other. We are segregating our tasks, and then we, intergroup dependency will be there. So sociology definitely will contributing, because whenever you are work into a group, see, as an individual, my personality is different, but my personality will definitely define me more clear when I work into a group, or more differently when I work into a group. So sociology also be a contributing discipline when you work into a group, because the group again will move towards you into an organization system. So you can also understand the organizational change, the organizational culture, the technologies, because different kind of groups are working into a different kinds of segments. Now we are coming to the third one, which is called the social psychology. Fine. Right now I define, see, as an individual, I performed certain tasks in this manner. But when you work into a group, now your behavior level gets changes. So that we call it as a social psychology. It means my psychological, my individual factors and my social factor, now they come together and being as an individual working into a group. So whenever as an individual enter into a group, immediately the behavioral changes get start. Attitude changes get start, because as or as an individual, maybe I'm comfortable for doing such kind of a thing. But when I come into a group, the things become difficult for me. So that will give me a clear picture, the behavioral change pattern, the attitude change pattern. How I communicate. Group processes. Now I'm trying to understand the different kind of group processes, the group decision making. Fine, because every individual, they're putting up their effort to making, a particular system into a better manner. So how group cohesiveness will support you in terms of the group decision making process. Next is a anthropology. Now, anthropology basically it is relate how a particular human being perform like that, focusing on their activities. So that we called as a anthropology. So if we talk about the activities, so definitely you will talk about the value system, comparative values, the comparative attitudes or different kind of attitudes, the cross-cultural analysis, because it is relate with the human beings' activities, organizational culture. If you're getting this kind of organizational culture, activities will relate with the same. If you're getting a different kind of organizational environment, you will get the activities like same, or the activities will change, or your activities will be affected or supported in terms of the different kind of organizational culture or the environment. Now we are coming to the last one, which is called the political science. Every organization, whenever the people are working, you will face a lot of organizational power, their politics and the conflict, because as I said before, as an individual within yourself, there are many of conflicts when you face. Maybe you yourself not able to decide that this thing is a right for you or this thing is a wrong for you, and when as an individual start working into a group manner, then the conflict arises, because one group person supporting this particular point and another group of person will support to the another kind of a thing. Politics that you feel, because you are working with a different kind of human behavior, so definitely you feel politics within the group, within the organization. So the contributing discipline to the OB is a political science as well. The people, how they will acquire the power, how they will acquire the politics and the conflicts within the group, within the individual and the organization. So you need to understand what sort of a political power is being influenced, or the human behavior power is being influenced, the politics that is carrying on, and the conflicting among the group members or under the organizational system, and then only you can well define the organizational behavior study into a well manner. Because as said, the more you understand the human behavior, the more you can understand the system, the more you can understand the various kind of a thing which will support you to achieve the organizational goal. Because in every segment, in every department, the people are working, and being as a leader, being as an organization, you have to understand with the various level of the people, how they work, how they behave, what sort of a thing they motivate them, which sort of a satisfaction that they required, is there any kind of power, is there any kind of a politics, or the conflict arises among the behavior of the people. So you only can understand when you study the discipline factors of a OB. So thank you all.